You are listening to Visionaries Wrestling Network, providing your perfect podcast experience.
All right, Mason, we haven't done one of these for several weeks now. With you being in Ohio and with school starting, we sort of built up a little bank of different wrestling activities. And yeah, we've not been to many. We've actually been to a couple in West Virginia. So we're going to start with the one that we did. And I don't have the date for this. Off the top of my head, it's probably around about August 23rd. Somewhere around that. I know it was a Saturday. We had to look it up because we couldn't remember. ATCW, we think. Atlantic Terror Championship Wrestling. That's a pretty gruesome name, actually. That sounds almost like terrorism. I'm sure that's not what it's supposed to be, but when I think of that, it kind of sounds a little strange. So this one was in West Virginia. I think this was our first time in West Virginia to go see wrestling, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
We worked out it was about 90 minutes away, perhaps an hour 45, something like that. And I'm trying to remember if there was a particular reason that we went to this one. I don't think there was anything specific, except for we hadn't been to this one before. So I think we just wanted to go try it out. As far as I can remember, doors opened around 6:30, 7 o'clock, something like that. And yeah. Oh, I know one thing that was definitely appealing. It was $10. And I think it might have been 15 for front row or 13 for front row. Actually, I think it was $13 for front row. So it was certainly a lot cheaper than some of the local events that we've been to recently. So that was certainly one of the things that appealed. I did not take notes for this. I've been asking to record this with you like multiple times so I didn't forget. We've been to another event since. I know we don't know all the names for these people either, so that's definitely going to make it a little tricky on this one. Alright, match one. What you got?
So, the Radical Stars, they get attacked by, we didn't know because they didn't get announced yet. And
so the lights kind of went a little dark or something, and they were about to, and then, yeah, you said, oh, I'm forgetting something. Actually, before we even started, because you reminded me about these guys, actually. This was kind of a strange thing for me at wrestling. I think we've had it before. We had we actually did the Pledge of Allegiance. I think we've done the national anthem before. Was it the national anthem or was it the pledge?
It was the Pledge.
It was the Pledge.
By Tony Atlas.
Yeah, I think we had a prayer as well. Yeah. They called a reverend from the back. Now, I can't remember what the building was, but it was something that had a religious connection as well. So right at the start, there was a few things that were slightly different from what we're used to. And didn't you say that you actually saw the two guys who attacked them actually take part in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah.
So you saw them sat on the far side. And were they sat near the people who had the shirts that said, like, cousins on it or something like that? Okay, so they were sort of on the left of where we were on the four sides. But okay, go ahead, continue.
And then, so, after they get attacked, this guy, he starts yelling at them, and then he says, like, they keep yelling, like, wanna dance? And then he yells at this one guy, I wanna dance with your bald head.
I remember they were talking pretty good trash. Now, actually, I gotta say, that first group, the Radical Stars, like I said, we didn't really know many people. I don't think we knew anybody who was actually going to be at this event. Now, I think I knew one person. I think I knew Avery Rose was going to be there. Oh, Mad Max. I forgot about Mad Max.
Mr. Jones was there.
Well, he was, but I didn't know he was going to be there. Now, I thought Anthony Atom might have been there, but I might have been mixing up. I think that was the reason why we ended up wanting to go to this one. I remember Avery Rose talking about it and Anthony Atom saying, oh, it's really good. It's really kid-friendly, whatever. Now, I remember the other reason we went now. We didn't take Jackson, though, because although we thought it was kid-friendly, we saw 3 matches. Actually, I think I gave you a choice. I said you can either go to this one that's kid-friendly, it's like an hour away, or you can go to this one that's non-kid-friendly 2 hours ago. And, of course, you then buy Jackson, you're staying at home. There was a tables match. There was a hardcore match, and I think there was supposed to be one more as well. But there was certainly a few things.
There was the last match. That was a hardcore too.
Yeah, so there was like 3 different gimmicks, but that kind of got my attention. I knew you'd be excited with the tables one, so that's kind of what drew our attention to it. The Radical Stars, even though we didn't know them at all, they were over straight away. It suddenly realised the people who were wearing shirts that said cousins, that was their fans. And when they came in, they were like dancing, they were giving people high fives around the outside. They were playing a song. I wish I could remember what the song was, but like everyone was, they were dancing to it. I was totally into that song. I was totally into this tag team. I was behind them 100%. I'm disappointed I didn't see them selling 8x10s. I don't remember a team catching my attention as quickly as that. Perhaps since the Ugly Ducklings. Like, they did instantly. They had that same chemistry. I thought they were really good with regards to that one.
The Golden Pinkies did.
Golden Pinky Society caught our attention as well, definitely as well. Yes, I would definitely agree with that
And the
too.
Grimy Scots.
Grimy Scots as well. They were, like I said, for a group that I guess the other groups, we didn't know them at the time either. But considering it was in this little organisation here, I was really impressed with their gimmick.
And so, oh yeah, that guy who that person yelled at, with the bald head, he did the national anthem, he sang the national anthem.
Oh, he did?
But it screeched at the start, and it was just so bad.
I thought that was because it was on a tape or something. I thought it was a pre-recorded one, and it just didn't work. Oh, he sang live? Perhaps I'm getting them mixed up then.
No.
Oh, okay.
We did all of it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Actually, no, we didn't. We only sang the anthem and did the prayer.
So it wasn't the pledge then?
No, but I remember doing the pledge.
So you just randomly did it? No one else did it? You just decided you'd do it anyway?
Maybe that was in school.
I don't. Yeah, you see now why I wanted to get this done ahead of time. I can't remember now because there was two that were very similar.
I do remember the screech.
I remember the screech as well, and I thought it was feedback on the CD, and I thought they just turned it down a little bit. But yeah, I don't remember anyone with a microphone. The prayer definitely was, because I remember the Reverend or whatever his title was holding the microphone in front of us, and yeah. Okay, what do you have for this match then?
There was a loud snap by the ring, multiple times, and the action.
Yeah, we thought the ring was going to collapse or something. When you get slammed into that post, you can hear it, but not like that. I don't know what that sound was. That was really weird. And actually, that happened on NXT Takeover this week, and I was kind of expecting a similar. Yeah, UK. I was expecting a similar thing like that to happen. I was like, oh, the ropes are going to come down, and they didn't. And actually, we heard one later in the match as well, in a different match. But it was it was interesting that happened, but I don't know what it was. No idea.
NXT UK, that was cool.
And that one, obviously, the ropes did collapse. Was that Coffee and Mastiff? I think that was Coffee and Mastiff match. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the coffee drink.
No.
Yeah, Joe Coffee.
Joe Coffee.
So the action, it comes near us a lot.
Oh yeah, because we didn't bring Jay, and as we didn't bring Jay, we didn't sit front row, and there was no barricades either. And I think it only went back 2 rows anyway. There wasn't like a lot of seats in this place. And straight away, I was scooching my knees up a little bit because I was like, I don't want to get hit by this. But yeah, they were right next to us. We picked the right side in terms of, because I know you don't care about that stuff. In fact, probably encourage it. It's way more exciting when they're right next to you and they're fighting. But yeah, no, it was cool where we were.
I don't like them diving out on me, but I like them diving out. Because one time Satu Jin, he sat on me during the scuba dive. And Jonathan Gresham, he went on me, but it wasn't that as bad as Satu Jin.
Oh, of course. I'm sure he's half the weight, probably. So
less.
Yeah. That definitely would make a difference. Do you have a won this match?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
The Stars won with a power bomb.
Oh, so the good guys actually won this one. Yeah. I honestly couldn't remember who actually won. I remember at the end. At the end, they did come around dancing around again because they did the win. Wasn't this the one where one of the bad guys lost his hat or something and it got pushed under... Because you spotted it, and then it got pushed under the ring, and then they didn't notice it, and then later one of those people had that shirt that said the Cousins, just grabbed it and put it on their head because they saw it. Yeah, they kind of didn't collect the stuff. They had one person who collected the stuff, but they did it at the end of the match rather than at the start of the match. So yeah, once you got to the back, you were kind of stuck. If you'd left anything out there like a gimmick, you couldn't really just walk out and get it. I guess you could at intermission, but yeah, that was kind of a little different.
So the next match is a 4-way, and it is TC Champ Open Challenge.
Okay.
So Michael Osborne versus Chris Staley versus Justin Yeager versus Dexter Alexander.
Now, I think what I remember most about this in the intro is there was a guy probably about 2 seats across from us who clearly knew one of the wrestlers. And he said, hey, long time no see, whatever. And he was actually at the event we went to a couple of days ago. And it actually looked like he was security at that event as well. And he asked him something like, how you doing, or whatever. And I can't remember exactly what he said. But
so, the Dexter Alexander...
Was Michael Osborne the one who had... It wasn't War Pigs, it had something he had something to do with
Michael
War.
Osborne was Ricochet.
Oh, he looked one like Ricochet?
No, he was the one that, like, did the Ricochet moves.
Oh, yeah, he did that flip. And that was
Yeah.
like, whoa, his entrance was just like Ricochet. Yeah, that was really cool that he did that.
And, actually, that was Chris Staley. Michael Osborne was the one that had the blood on it.
Yeah, he was the walk person then.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what he said,
then
but he looked like a
Justin
veteran or something.
Yeager, I know what he looks like. He's just generic.
Uh-huh.
And Dexter Alexander's the college guy.
The college guy, what does that mean? I don't remember.
The one that looks like he just graduated.
Oh, okay, all right, I got you. Uh-huh.
And Chris is very acrobatic, and Dexter wins with a slapping some knowledge into Justin Mitchell.
Slapping some knowledge.
Justin Yeager.
Are you talking about the college professor?
Yeah.
That wasn't this match.
Yes, it was.
This was not the second match.
Yes, it was.
There is no way this
Yes,
was
it
the second
was.
match. That was like the fourth or fifth. How many matches did we have on this one then?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.
So this
Seven.
is
Seven.
So this is the guy actually who was dressed up as a college professor. He had a book, he had the gown and everything. Are you saying it's that one?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And he slapped him with the book.
Okay, so it said he was from Yale then. But yeah, he didn't look like a student. He looked like the professor for that one. And he put his book down, and we couldn't read what it actually said on his book. But I remember the end then, as he was getting distracted then. There was something going on the outside. He picked the book up, and as soon as the other guy on the inside turned around, he smacked him with it. And he's like, hey, ref, turn around. And of course, at that point, he threw the book away, and then he pinned him.
After the match, so Chris, he starts attacking Michael, but I didn't quite see it. I just heard a super kick, and then I look over, and then there's blood all over Michael's back of his head.
Yeah, there was. It was like a big line. It looked really bad. And considering this wasn't even supposed to be one of the supposedly hardcore matches, it ended up being kind of like that. I remember he came out later, and you could definitely see there was a cut there or something.
It wasn't a big cut along his head. It was, he had a cut around a little over his ear, and then when he laid down, it dripped across his head.
Oh, so it just looked worse than it actually was, probably.
It just dripped across his.
And that was on the far side of the ring initially, so we couldn't actually. I don't actually remember what that was for. I don't know if he was just upset he lost or. Okay. All right, match 3.
Match 3, the Dark Horses versus the Mid-Atlantic Wrecking Crew.
Now, this was one of the groups that I did recognize, actually, from the poster. I didn't know who they were ahead of time, and yeah, they had the shirts. It was kind of like NWO, but it had, I'm trying to work it out then,
MWC.
Yes, and somebody said, isn't like Mid-Atlantic 2 words? And they were like, it's hyphenated, so they got away with the M for Mid-Atlantic. One of their guys was actually sat fairly close to us as we walked in, because he had a belt there, but I couldn't really see any merch on his table, and I didn't know who he was, so we didn't say hi to him or anything. But this was the faction that actually, so is this one where Avery Rose came out for this one?
Yeah.
Alright, so I didn't know that Avery Rose was part of that faction. The Dark Horses we did know, though, because we've seen them in EAW. Making sure I got that one right. I did say it correctly this time. Whew, having just had AEW this weekend, I want to make sure I got it the right way around. So you remembered one of them straight away. You remembered...
Tomahawk and Grizzly O.
Yeah, you recognized Tomahawk straight away, and I couldn't remember. And we should have remembered Grizzly O because we'd forgotten. I actually had to ask him. I said, "Can you tell?" And because of course the Grimy Scots, they also have a Grizzly as well, so I couldn't quite remember. And yeah, we did talk to those guys later. And what about the actual match itself then?
So they have the foot just laying there during the pin, and Avery Rose just pulls it out. And then it's a double pin, you said that you can't do a double pin, but you can do a double pin.
Oh, because they had 2 people covering him at the same time.
What was wrong with it was that his foot broke the plane of the rope.
And the ref didn't call it for that. So, yeah, because we have this before, like, they make a big effort to put their foot on the bottom rope, but you don't have to, as long as that's actually, the mathematician in me really worries about that, because it's actually further distance. It's easier just to slide your leg sideways, and then you actually break the plane. The refs don't always seem to notice that, though. I guess from the angle, you can clearly see if someone's foot's on the rope, but you can't always tell if it's broken the plane or not.
I wonder if the mathematician does that.
I don't know. I still haven't looked mathematician up yet. I need to look that guy up. I keep forgetting to do that. So, so this was for the title then, right? So those guys retained then on that basis.
Yes.
And so that was match 3. Was that the intermission then? If there was 6 matches, they went 4 matches.
Chris Gatt versus Jeremy Gromes.
Jeremy Grimes?
Grimes.
Jeremy Grimes, okay. That name I recognise from the poster. I have no visual in this match at all, Mason, so I'm hoping your introduction is going to help me to remember. You're shaking your head, so you got like the finish. Oh, you got something? Okay. I can't remember these two at all.
So the closed fist is not legal in...
Oh, he kept saying, ref kept saying open. Oh, there was one thing we didn't talk about as well. I'm trying to remember where it is. There's one organization we go to. One ref is absolutely hated, and they always kind of like boo him or whatever. This one, neither of the refs were liked. When they introduced them, it was like boo, and they were like, or there was like no clapping at all. And those refs were not very popular at all.
I think that was Alpha 1.
Oh, was it Alpha 1?
Yeah, because it was during the three-way match, because everybody cheered for Jeff Cobb, Trey Miguel, and TJP.
Uh-huh.
And then when they...
You're right.
The ref, but the cameraman's got a big cheer.
That's right, you're right. So there was... So sometimes you get one ref that's not popular. This one, I think there was only 2 refs as far as I remember. I think they alternated between matches. I think one of them did 2 matches in a row at one point, and then we saw one of the other refs at the back. So I don't know if he was out having a smoke and forgot to come in, or it was just agreed that one would do 2 or whatever. But yeah, they both got booed for this one a lot. I do remember that part.
I think the only ref that is like a big face is Buff Ref and that other one.
The other one.
Yeah,
Bryce is always very
Bryce.
popular. You know Bryce is in AEW, right?
He is?
Yeah, he's called up to AEW.
Oh.
I don't know if he did the pay-per-view last night, the All Out, because I didn't actually watch it.
So we've seen 2 famous refs.
Mm-hmm.
I've interviewed one.
You have,
got a picture with one.
Because Chris was also on the NXT UK, because I think it was match 4.
Oh yeah, because I just came down after baseball practice, and I see Steve Mastiff and Chris and
Dave Mastiff.
Dave Mastiff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then I see referee Chris just counting.
Yeah, no, I would say they're both really big refs now. So, well, they always were, but I would say, Bryce, we just didn't know him so much because he was at Chikara, but now he's going to be up on that next level. I assume him starting fairly soon with the TV show starting in DC. I think next month. It's actually September we're recording today, so next month is October. I think that's when their show actually starts.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got for this match then? Because I'm still, besides that open fist thing, that was weird that they kept saying you got to open your fist up. Like, I don't know.
So there was a nice leg lock pin. So like he was in a leg lock and he got pinned at the same time. So he had to kick out of a leg lock and a pin.
Okay.
But the thing is, when you get pinned and there's a submission on, you have to break it. So if you kick out, then you basically just have to, then you can just lay down for another 2 seconds. Because then you can't be pinned.
Correct.
Because they have to break. And Michael attacks Jeremy, like Michael Osborne.
He came back out.
Yeah. And then Chris comes out, and then Jeremy wins, and Chris he attacks Michael Osborne, and then they start fighting each other, and then I think Jeremy, he then attacks both of he attacks, who helped him again? Chris. He attacks Chris.
Now, I just remembered one more thing about this match, actually. Because when they first announced it, they said it was the Maryland Marauder or something like that. And then we thought they said Chris Cush. And I was like, oh, Chris Kushner, because he's got like that Maryland theme as well. Like, are they going to have a slightly different name? And then we found out, oh, it's not, it's Chris Cut. And then actually, once he got into the ring, they said, oh, sorry, we said the wrong name. And it was Chris Gat. Is that right?
So, the first one they said Kush, then they said Cut, then they said Got, and then they said Gat.
So they changed it multiple times. As soon as he came out, though, we could say, well, that's not Chris Kushner. I think the other thing that made me think that was the Dark Horses in the previous match. So when we got the EWA people there, you're like, oh, perhaps another EWA person's there as well. It seemed possible, but no, it certainly wasn't Chris Kushner.
We saw another one in West Virginia at the next event.
We saw quite a few, yes. There was a lot of different ones from what we'd seen at this one as well. So as this was the 4th match then, is this where the intermission came?
Oh, and we saw Mr. Jones.
You're going to talk about that in the next match, I'm assuming. So, all right. So this was where the intermission came. So we did want to go and talk to the Dark Horses because we were like, oh, we've seen you guys at EWA. And actually, they had wrestling figures. Actually, to begin with, we just looked at their wrestling figures and we were kind of a little shy. And you looked, and I think it was... How much was it? Was it like 5 for 1 or 2 for 8? It was something like that.
I think
or was it 2 for 7 even?
2 for 7.
It was like, or was perhaps it was 4 for 1. Anyway, it was a great deal to get 2. Seeing as Jay didn't come, we picked out one for him as well. And then we started talking and said that, hey, we've seen you at EWA, whatever. And we tried to get an 8x10. They didn't have an 8x10. But they did say, oh, you're the guys on the podcast that we like. I'm sure they said that we like as well. Or they said something like that. But they definitely knew who we were. I don't know. I was walking high. I was walking a little bit higher that they recognized. I'm sure you more than anything. But I thought that was cool. That we've only been to EWA twice, I think. So it's not like we're regulars there. And we keep missing them because of travels in the summer. Fridays are really difficult to get to. I know they have an event coming up in 2 weeks. We might be able to get there a little easier now. You're at middle school and you finish at around 3 o'clock. It's still tough to try and travel to Baltimore at that time because traffic's getting really bad, but it's certainly easier than what it was when you didn't leave school until like 4 or 5 o'clock.
And so I think they make wrestling figures red because I always chop Braun Strowman really hard with my wrestling figures, and that has a big red scuff mark on it now, and it looks like blood. And Rusev, it has a whole bunch of like red spots all over his head and
because they were trying to clean it off, and we're like, that looks cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Jackson got Shawn Michaels.
I picked it up, and I was like, because I couldn't tell immediately it was him, but it was on his pants. He had the hearts, so I turned up, and you got the HBK there as well. So yeah, I picked that one out because I knew that he knew. I knew that he knew that character as well. Yeah. So I thought that, and they said actually that was their favorite character. So I think I picked out a good one for him. You got a good one as well.
Wrestling figures. So the next event, there's just one. I was so mad that we didn't come a little bit earlier because Jackson's been really wanting a Hornswoggle wrestling figure, and they had one.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, but a kid already bought it. It was sitting on his chair.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And they had a Rockman Dan, but another kid already bought that one too.
That's Jackson's name for Rob Van Dam. That's a great name.
So I got this. It was just one game from the thrift store. It's a DVD WWE board game, and it has Rob Van Dam on the front. And then whenever he would come downstairs, he goes, "Rob Van Dam."
Rob Van Dam was really cool and actually liked our tweet when we posted that. I thought that was funny that he did that.
What did Blade Job say?
He said he's going to say this. I said we might just always call him Rockman Dan from that one. And Blade Job said, I think I'm going to do the same.
I thought he said Rockman Dan buried in the snow or something like that.
Oh, he did make some comment. I can't remember what the quote was. I don't remember. All right, what else at intermission? I'm trying to remember. They were selling. There was a few things. Yeah, shirts were actually really reasonably priced. Like junior shirts were $12. The one we wanted to get, we couldn't get, was I support independent wrestling. I think that would have been perfect for you, and I would have got one as well. But they didn't have one in my size either. And they did have a kids one though, which has got the logo. I don't know if it's got the logo on, but it's certainly got the initials on. And the thing I liked about it, it's got prints on the front and back as well. That's kind of really unusual for t-shirts when you buy like that, certainly at that price. I'm trying to think what else. There was something, when we were sat down, I was like, what's that guy selling over there? Is he selling like jam or something? Was it barbecue sauce?
Yeah.
So kind of like JR, so they had that. They did have, obviously, concessions as well. And I'm trying to remember, when you could buy a hot dog, you could get, I think he said a steamer with it. I have no idea what a steamer is.
You should have just got it.
Oh, I didn't know what it was. Well, I don't know. My image of a steamer is a turd, which is why I didn't order it. So I was like, I'm not ordering that. But I was kind of curious what it was. But why you'd want that on? The only thing I can think of with it being a hot dog is it's like a pickle or something. I don't know. So I didn't get that, but I did get the hot dog. I did get the fries. I did get a soda. Mason's dying right now, so I'm going to try and remember what else they had.
Okay.
They had the nachos. They had the standard stuff. It was reasonably priced, that's for sure. And, yeah, there was a few other people selling merch, but not really selling 8x10s. Like, everyone was selling t-shirts, and I'm kind of done with wrestlers t-shirts. I don't mind getting organizations t-shirts, but I don't like, because I can wear a wrestler. I'm a little older than you, so I don't want the face of a wrestler printed on my chest as I'm walking around. But I'm quite happy to advertise an independent wrestling organization. And then if it's something more like my age, they might just say, oh, I've been to that one. Oh, it's something more of a talking point than having a face on there. So
isn't your favorite shirt have Matt Hardy on it?
I've cut them down. That's a little different. That one's a little different.
Bro.
I don't have many now. I don't have many. Bro, I made an exception for as well. Bro's probably the last one that I actually brought. But also, that was at the time, it looked like it was going to be the end of Nova Pro as well. So I definitely wanted to, as we liked Bro Keller so much. And also, we were planning travelling up to Reading to go see him for his organisation up there. And then we didn't need to in the end, because obviously we've still got wrestling organisations back down here now. Now we've got Primetime Pro, and we've seen him at Crowd Wrestling as well.
And there's one like a half an hour away from us that's opening up.
There's one in Fredericksburg. I don't know how regular that's going to be right now, but yeah, it's Classic Pro Wrestling. That was the one I went to see in Islet.
Oh.
Where they had the really hot thing.
The furnace?
The furnace, that's it. Yes, it was very warm at that place. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. I know we took the... Actually, I don't think did we even go out to the car? I don't think we did for this one. I think we just had the wrestling figures and we just put them next to us.
Yeah.
And, I think they just got started at that. Alright, match 5 then.
Mad Max Morrison versus Jimmy Flame.
Okay, now I claim that Jimmy Flame has appeared at UC. You're already shaking your head. I forgot to look this up. I am sure that Jimmy Flame has appeared at UCW, and I'm sure he was the one who fought against the Golden Pinky Society, and he didn't have a partner for some reason. And he said, you got to find a partner or else you got to forfeit the title. And he picked Porkchop Johnson. Now, you're shaking your head because you do not believe that. I haven't had a chance to look it up because I didn't take notes, unfortunately.
I know that Jimmy Flame did fight the Golden Pinky Society.
Oh, he changed his story a little bit since last week.
From what I remember, he looks so much different.
He looked different, and I could tell that. And I'm not good with things like why he looked different, but yes, he looked different from when we saw him on that one. Now, the reason I was pretty sure it was him as well, I know I follow him on Twitter, so I have seen his picture periodically, and I could tell, I was sure it was him, and I know you were like, no, definitely not him, but, alright, what you got about this match then?
But his name, Jimmy Flame did fight, but he looked super different.
Okay, but don't you think if he has the same name, it's probably going to be him? Now, I know that doesn't always work, because at EWA we've got Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
So I know it doesn't always work, but anyway, it works most of the time. Alright, go on, tell us about match 5. Now, this was probably one of the hardcore matches then, right? Is this the tables match?
No.
So where's the tables
match
then?
Hardcore match.
So there was 7. You said there was only 6 matches.
No, there's 7.
I thought you only said there was 6.
No, I thought if you're looking at my notes, I messed up because I put 2 matches in one.
Ah, well, when I asked you earlier, you said there was 6. That's why I said after 3, it's got to be the break.
4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, well, this makes sense then. All right, so this one was just
hardcore.
This was just hardcore, right? All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I forgot the last match. That was the one where the guy bet. He said I put $10 on Jeremy.
Ah.
Yeah, so Mad Max, he yells, "Don't touch me," and then he just touches him. There are lots of cracks from the rim.
Yeah, I knew there was one more match when that happened, and I couldn't remember which one it was. Yeah. So what made this hardcore then? I can't remember. I don't think there was anything.
There was anything.
No, there wasn't. That was the thing that was kind of surprising about this one. I know match 7 was legitimately supposed to be hardcore.
Jimmy wins with a roll-up.
Now, I gotta be honest, I don't remember much about this match. Now, I think probably the reason is, this is probably when I went to get food. So I think I relied on you for this one, and then I came back. I remember I had to run back to my seat at one point, because I didn't want them coming over the side. Or I think they might have been on the outside, so I was like, I gotta get back before. Yeah, I don't really remember anything about this match at all. It didn't really stand out. Was it a good match?
Yeah.
It was okay? Yeah, I don't know. Considering the other ones, yeah, I didn't write any notes down for those either. And I know Mad Max as well. But that might have been. Sometimes when you know the wrestlers, your brain kind of switches off a little bit and just watches what's going on. Whereas when it's somebody different, you tend to pay a little bit more attention. So, I don't know. I still like watching Mad Max matches.
So, you saying running to your seat reminds me of that one time when you slipped in Nova Pro. It was hilarious.
Oh, when you thought Eric Royal liked Space Jam? Alright, match 6. We know we got to get that in every episode somehow.
It's the tables match.
Alright, now, I had an image of what this match was going to look like in my head before we got there. This was not what I was expecting at all, so I don't know about you, Mason.
They had, thin wood planks.
They took
a half an inch.
I think it was thicker than that. They said they were going to take time to set it up, and I was like, oh, of course, because they got to get the tables ready and everything. They just put a plank of wood against 2 ring posts, and that was it. Was there 2 on the outside as well? I think they put 2 planks around on the outside as well. They did, because they set one up. They set one up on chairs.
Yeah, that was in the corner.
Yeah.
That was just thrown into...
They took it from the corner, and he went to the outside?
That was the corner of the arena.
Oh, okay.
And that was Avery Rose that got it.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So tell us first of all who's in this match then.
Mr. Jones versus Travis Tarvis.
So Travis Tarvis then is part of that organization that we talked about before, the Mid-Atlantic, whatever they're called, Wrecking Crew, the MWC. So they were part of that one. So yeah, they set the tables up, and even as they're setting them up, you can see one of them starting to slide a little bit. So it's like it did make the ring dynamic was really weird. It sort of cut out the wrestling style totally. And it wasn't a table. It was just a plank of wood, as we said, which was a bit of a downer to start with. And then, if I remember correctly, and I think you just said this, they didn't even actually use either of those two pieces. They weren't the ones that got broken. It was a random piece that they got from the side. They put on chairs, and how did it end? Was it like was it from the edge of the ring?
Hit in the head. So he got thrown over the ropes, and then he landed on his head on the apron, and then went.
Oh my, yeah. The finish was, oh my gosh, it sounded really painful. Yeah, Mr. Jones landed on the side of the ring and then went through the wood, and of course that signals the end of the match. But that bang, that's the thing that I remember, and that's why I was asking you how it finished. I couldn't remember if they were both on the edge or if he threw him over and he landed on. That's the most painful noise I think I've ever heard in wrestling. And of course, you don't always know. When they walk off, you're like, are they okay? Like, sometimes they are okay, and sometimes they're not okay. And I honestly thought he was not okay for this one. It really did. Because you can't control exactly. When you throw somebody like over the side like that, you can't control exactly where they land. But if you land on that apron first and then land on the floor, ouch. And we couldn't see because we were on the wrong side of the ring. Because the table, when I say table, the piece of wood on two chairs was lower than the height of the ring. So we didn't actually see exactly what happened in this one. So Avery Rose was being a heel in this one as well?
Yeah. I think one of the worst things I saw was like when we were just starting to go to Nova Pro when Innocent Isaiah, he got hit and he got a concussion.
Yes, and he was out for a while for that one because we kept saying he's like, I'll be back soon. Yeah, he was out for a long time. Yeah, there were some bad ones. I'm trying to think. Wasn't Jordan Grace's injury looked really bad as well, but she recovered from that pretty quickly actually in the end. That looked awful. They took her out in a wheelchair. Mia Yim's injury as well. There was. I guess it's inevitable when you wrestle that you're going to get those types of injuries, but yeah. And also Sanjay Dutt as well. Against Jonathan Gresham. He was out pretty quick. We only saw him for like 3-4 months, and then he was out for a long, long time and never actually made it back to Nova Pro in the end. So, yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Do you remember what title this was for? Because there was a lot of different titles.
This was for no title, I don't think.
You don't think this was one?
No.
Okay, I thought this was for, I don't know if they had like a TV title or a hardcore title or a cruiserweight title or...
That was
it seemed like there was almost every match was a title match.
That was for the next show.
Oh, that was for the next show? Alright, I got that mixed up then. Alright, so this will be the main event coming up then, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
So Chucky versus the Mid-Atlantic Wrecking Crew guy.
Now I knew who Chucky was because I'd seen his picture ahead of time, and this was the one reason why I said Jay's not coming if we pick this one. He had a bat which looked like it had barbed wire wrapped around it, or some spikes, or it looked kind of gruesome. It kind of looked like something that Cactus Jack might use in the early 2000s. And of course, your eyes lit up when I mentioned that was part of it. So yeah, of course, you wanted to see that. And yeah, it was legitimate. It was a legitimate bat. It had barbed wire on and everything. I don't remember this match being too hardcore either, actually, except for one thing. So what was the probably most, I guess, eye-watering moment, Mason? I know you have a phrase that you said yesterday. Like, I got a great phrase for what happened in this match.
So he got a barbed wire bat to the dingo.
So what exactly? Did he just place it there and then he kicked the bat on him? How did it work?
Swing.
Oh, he swung it? Oh, I don't remember that at all. I didn't think he did that. I thought he kicked the bat onto him, unless I'm thinking of a different...
he swung it.
I might be thinking of a different moment in that match then. But I can think of one where he had it down and he kicked him and he kicked something onto him. And... besides that, I honestly don't remember much about this match at all, so I'm relying on you. Oh, yeah, they came around. Yeah, that guy was great. He came around because it was the end. They were trying to get rid of stuff, so... What did it come in? Was it like just a
It was like one of those
cup?
Icy things.
Yeah, they came in like a little cup, but that was... You said it was really salty, the popcorn.
It was.
But that was cool. But they didn't have much, so he went round. But then he came back and brought some more out for us as well, which I thought was really good of him to do that.
If it's a West Virginia thing to give people food after the match.
It might be.
Two times we got a cookie yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I know
And
you obviously don't want to keep a lot of that stuff because it's gonna go off. But no, I thought that was really cool that they did that. They certainly didn't have to do
and
that.
like it was a really good cookie.
Uh-huh.
And like I wonder like if they're gonna give one to us next time, but I wonder when it's like a Franz bring the weapons. I'm guessing that's the main event.
All right, now okay, that's the spoiler for this one. So Chucky won this match, I think, right?
Yeah, he won with a back slam.
Okay, and at the end, you went to the bathroom, and then the kids were actually in the ring with him getting pictures. And he got one of the kids was like, "Look, you didn't touch it." And he's like, "Ow!" Or he tried to touch it. It's like it's real barbed wire. I told you, and you could tell that it absolutely was. And they did announce that the next one, I can't remember exactly when it's going to be. It's going to be a fans bring the weapons. So we've already said we want to go back for it.
Yeah.
We think it's going to be on a Friday this time. This one was on a Saturday originally. We don't know, but I said we'd go back because we missed the one at Nova Pro probably about 18 months ago or something like that. Actually, I don't know if it was that long ago. I can't remember.
Christmas.
Well, it was this Christmas, wasn't it? So it was like probably 9 months ago then, because we were up in Ohio. So I said we'll go for that. You've already got some ideas. I talked about using an old baseball bat because they changed the regulations for our little league, and I was going to stick some Lego bricks on it. I like the idea of doing that. I think that's kind of funny.
I sort of want to like put thumbtacks on the like tape the round part to it, or like super glue it or something like that, so you get hit with the thumbtack bat, but that seems a little too extreme.
Considering some of these matches were supposed to be hard. I guess the thing we should have realized, there was a lot of young kids in this one as well. So it obviously couldn't be too crazy, but when it was advertised like that, and when I saw the picture of that bat, I clearly got the wrong indication of what it was going to be like. Yeah, more blood actually happened, like I said, in that non-blood match, when his head hit the ground or whatever it was that caused it to break.
So,
having said all that, though, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It was a tight 2 hours. It started about 7, finished about 9:15. I was quite happy with it. $13. We got to see 7 matches. All of them were pretty fun, and we didn't get back too late. I'm quite happy to go back to see another one of these.
If I got a barbed wire back to the dingo, I think I'd wear a cup.
He might have done. He probably did. I'm gonna guess that probably would have been sensible, right?
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye to me.
And it's goodbye from them.
Goodbye.
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0